Tell us about your sweet mom.
My mama was a good person. She was the best mom anybody could ever ask for. My mama, she woke up every day and went to work for us. My mama died trying to take care of us. She died.
My God.
She was so good to everybody. A hard-working woman. So kind. If anybody needed help, she would give you her last. Give you the shirt off her back. She did not deserve that at all.
How many kids does your mom?
6. All 6 of us. Me and my
5 girls
siblings.
and 1 boy.
My brother.
And she's aware that she took us from her.
On the morning of July 10th, 2025, at a McDonald's located on 9 Mile Road in East Point, Michigan, manager Jennifer Harris was on duty. She had been employed at the location for over 15 years. Her responsibilities included overseeing employees, managing shift operations, and maintaining order during the lunch rush. Earlier that day, a verbal dispute occurred between Harris and an employee, 26-year-old Afeni Muhammad. Muhammad was directed to leave the premises following the incident. She exited without further conflict. At approximately 8 a.m., Muhammad returned. She was wearing a hooded mask. She entered the restaurant carrying a kitchen knife. Surveillance footage and witness accounts confirm that she approached Harris directly. The attack lasted less than 2 minutes. Harris sustained multiple stab wounds. A customer, legally armed, discharged 1 round and detained Muhammad at gunpoint until police arrived. Harris was declared dead at the scene. Muhammad was taken into custody.
The McDonald's employee accused of stabbing and killing her manager was arraigned on first-degree murder charges this afternoon in East Point.
Police say the suspect was sent home from work after an argument. Then she returned with a knife and a mask. Gino Vici joins us live from the McDonald's location on 9 Mile in East Point with more on the charges the suspect is facing. Gino.
Well, that's right, Shayna, and hello to you, Terrence. Now, we learned from this arraignment, 26-year-old Afeni Muhammad admitted to police she returned to work with a mask, armed with a knife, and she also admitted to stabbing and killing her manager, 39-year-old Jennifer Harris.
Publicly accessible social media videos posted by Muhammad in the days prior show her discussing dissatisfaction with the work environment and alleging mistreatment. These posts reference toxic energy and the need for it to stop.
I got sent home early yesterday. I got sent home early today by the same person. I'm telling you, she's a bully. This shit isn't funny. She needs to understand that just because she's a mother and got children doesn't mean that she can come in this store, disrespecting people, talking to them like everybody's beneath her. She has no respect. And it isn't funny at all. Like, seriously, man, I got shit I gotta take care of. And she keeps sending me home early. It's not funny. She's playing games. And then all day, throughout the day, she keeps saying her little racial shit. And then throughout the day, she keeps on, putting negative energy in the air, talking about people, gossiping about people. It's not funny, man. That shit gonna have to stop. She's a bully. I'm telling you. She's a bully. She brings a lot of negative energy in there. She always panic when there's a lot going on. And then she try to manipulate that and make it seem like we ain't doing something right. But we are working really hard and doing great. It's just the fact that she panicked, and I caught her a few times making a mistake, and she tried to hurry up and play it off. Nobody's perfect. It happens. You know what I mean?
No internal complaints or warnings were officially filed regarding these statements. This is not a dramatization. This is a documented incident resulting in a workplace homicide. Stay with us as we unravel this shocking story and uncover the heartbreaking details of what led to this senseless loss. Before we begin, let us know in the comments, where are you watching from, and what are your thoughts as the story unfolds? Welcome to True Crime Tales, where we reveal the crimes that shock communities and the secrets hidden behind closed doors. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Now, let's begin. Jennifer Harris, a 39-year-old African-American woman, was a long-serving McDonald's manager at the East Point, Michigan location. She was widely recognized among local patrons and staff for her consistent presence and operational role within the restaurant. At the time of her death, she had spent more than 14 years working at that specific McDonald's branch, gradually rising to a supervisory position through years of experience and reliability. Harris was the mother of 6 children. Her role as a parent was well known among co-workers. Colleagues described her as strict, punctual, and process-oriented. She adhered closely to the corporate structure and reportedly enforced rules without exceptions. According to multiple staff members, she prioritized professionalism and did not tolerate tardiness, insubordination, or inappropriate conduct during shifts. Some employees viewed her leadership as overly stern. Anonymous accounts surfaced after the incident, with a few former employees alleging that Harris could be harsh or dismissive in her tone. However, no formal HR complaints were documented against her within the store's public employment history. There was no known record of violence, workplace retaliation, or unresolved disputes escalated to corporate level. Despite isolated frustrations expressed by some staff, most described Harris as fair and focused on maintaining discipline. There were no signs that she was aware of any active threats or grievances at the time of her death. Afeni Muhammad is a 26-year-old woman who had previously worked at the same East Point McDonald's location. Her employment there was recent and short-term. She had only been employed for a few months before the fatal incident occurred in July 2025. During her time at McDonald's, Muhammad allegedly clashed with management. According to internal reports, she had verbal disagreements with supervisors, including Harris. These disagreements involved scheduling issues, disciplinary warnings, and performance concerns. She was not under active suspension at the time of the incident, but had reportedly been reprimanded for behavior shortly before the fatal day. No verified mental health history was submitted during her arraignment, but prosecutors referenced concerns regarding her mindset based on statements she made both online and to police. Muhammad maintained an active online presence under the Instagram handle Official Rising Phonics. Her posts included personal monologues, commentary on workplace dynamics, and direct criticisms of her managers. In the week leading up to the attack, she posted videos referencing what she described as bullying by upper staff. In one clip, she stated, "That negative energy she's bringing in there, that's gonna stop."
So her, all that animosity and shit that she keep putting in the air and stuff, then trying to tell me, I'm always snapping on people. No, that's false. No, I don't snap on people. I don't go in there doing that. I tell her, no, I make peace. That's what I'm doing. I've been creating peace. So all that negative energy that she's bringing in there and trying to manipulate it, no, that's going to stop. All that negative shit she's saying about, her personal life, all of that. No, she's bringing all of that in there and then playing games saying she want to take her belt off and beat somebody. Y'all act like my kids in here. No, we ain't your kids. Respect us. Stop talking to us like that. I'm telling you. But to get sent home 2 days in a row, man, and I came in on my off day to make up my time, and she still sends me home early, it's not funny. Somebody gonna have to do something about that. It's not funny. It's not fair. It isn't funny at all. So, she could keep being a bully if she wants to, but that shit is going to catch up to her. Because it ain't funny at all. It ain't.
The tone of her videos fluctuated between philosophical reflections and accusatory rants. There was no prior criminal record listed in public databases for Muhammad at the time of her arrest. Family members later stated they were shocked by her actions. Close acquaintances claimed she had shown signs of stress in recent weeks, but had never expressed intent to harm anyone. None admitted to being aware of any imminent risk or plan to commit violence. After her arrest, Muhammad reportedly confessed to police that she had planned at the park before returning to the restaurant. Her post-arrest statements have become a key focus of the ongoing legal investigation. If you're finding this case informative and want to follow more detailed breakdowns like this, don't forget to subscribe. We cover complex true crime stories with deep analysis, unanswered questions, and facts that others overlook. Hit that bell icon so you don't miss what comes next. On the afternoon of July 7th, 2025, Afeni Muhammad reported to her scheduled shift at the East Point McDonald's. At some point during her shift, she became engaged in a heated verbal altercation with Jennifer Harris. Eyewitnesses later said the argument was loud and drew attention from staff and some customers. The exact subject of the conflict remains under investigation, but resulted in Muhammad being asked to leave the premises for the remainder of the day. Muhammad complied and exited the restaurant without incident. Over the next several hours, She was not seen or heard from. Surveillance footage later confirmed that during her absence, she changed clothing, acquired a weapon, and returned wearing a hooded mask to obscure her identity. She re-entered the McDonald's through the front customer area. Security footage recorded her walking directly toward Harris, who was standing near the counter. Without verbal warning or hesitation, Muhammad pulled a knife and began stabbing Harris repeatedly in front of staff and multiple customers. The assault lasted approximately 45 seconds. Harris suffered at least 15 stab wounds to the neck, torso, and upper chest. Other employees reportedly screamed and fled the scene. A legally armed civilian customer, seated nearby, pulled his weapon, ordered Muhammad to drop the knife, and fired a warning shot into the air. She dropped the weapon and was restrained by the armed customer until police arrived. Officers responded within minutes. Muhammad was arrested on the scene without further resistance. Harris was pronounced dead at the scene by first responders.
And now we head over to breaking news, where we're learning the identity of the McDonald's employee who's accused of stabbing her manager to death on Thursday. In the last 30 minutes, we've obtained this booking photo for Afeni Muhammad. Now, she's expected to be officially arraigned in the next hour. Local 4's Lauren Kostick is live outside the courthouse where the arraignment is set to happen. Good afternoon, Lauren.
That's right, Jay. We're outside the 38th District Court here in East Point. And like I said, this is where that suspect will be arraigned on first-degree murder charges. We are told that is scheduled to start at 1 p.m. here, and the suspect will appear over Zoom from the Macomb County Jail. And like you said, we have now confirmed within the last few minutes the suspect's name. We are told her name is Afeni Muhammad. Police say a manager at the McDonald's on 9 Mile told Muhammad to go home early yesterday morning. She then allegedly left and then came back with a knife. Witnesses say a customer fired a shot to stop the attack and then held Muhammad at gunpoint until police could arrive. And family of the victim yesterday identified the manager as 39-year-old Jennifer Harris, a single mom of 6 that will be deeply missed. And again, we are expecting that suspect to be arraigned here on first-degree murder charges. We will be inside the courtroom and bring you the latest of what happened tonight at 5. For now, live in East Point, Lauren Kostick, Local 4.
The incident was recorded by both internal security cameras and responding officers' body-worn cameras. That footage has not yet been released to the public. The weapon used in the killing was a stainless steel kitchen knife with a blade approximately 4.5 inches in length. It was recovered on the floor of the restaurant with visible blood on the blade and handle. The knife was consistent with common household cutlery and is believed to have been brought from Muhammad's residence. There is no indication that she acquired the knife after leaving work. Law enforcement concluded it was brought to the scene intentionally, supporting the prosecution's charge of premeditation. Forensic analysis confirmed Jennifer Harris's blood was present on the knife. Muhammad's fingerprints were found on the handle, and no sign suggested anyone else handled the weapon before or during the attack. The placement of the stab wounds indicated a deliberate effort to target vital areas, including the throat and chest, further supporting the prosecution's argument that the act was not impulsive. DNA swabs and material from Muhammad's clothes matched both the victim's blood and trace fibers from a knife sheath. Her phone was confiscated at the scene and contained recent searches related to criminal sentencing and homicide laws in Michigan. Those are being reviewed for potential relevance at trial. This was not a spontaneous act of rage. It was calculated, armed, and executed. In several clips, Muhammad accused her supervisors of fostering a hostile work environment. She referenced workplace dynamics in which employees were being pushed to the edge and claimed that they know what they're doing. While she never explicitly identified Harris by name in these public posts, the consistent tone and timing of her content strongly suggest that Harris was a central figure in her complaints. Her content included vague but concerning language. In one video, she stated, "Watch what happens when you corner the wrong person." And in another, she wrote in text overlay, "Negative energy is going to be dealt with." Such phrasing led some viewers to later interpret these as thinly veiled threats, though at the time, they did not provoke a broad reaction. There were no public reports that her videos were flagged or reported to authorities or her employer. The question remains whether Muhammad was using coded language to express intent or simply venting frustrations. Given that she returned to her workplace with knife and mask just days after these posts, The possibility of early warning signs being ignored becomes central to the narrative. Despite the clarity in hindsight, these social media posts did not prompt any apparent intervention from colleagues, supervisors, or online followers. Some community members have since asked, were there signs that should have been taken more seriously? And if so, why didn't anyone act? Afeni Muhammad was removed from her shift following a verbal altercation with her manager. According to witness statements, she left the McDonald's location around midday. Surveillance footage, employee testimonies, and later court statements confirm that she returned a few hours later wearing a hooded mask and armed with a kitchen knife. Prosecutors argue that the nature of the return, specifically the mask, the concealed weapon, and the timing, demonstrates premeditation. During police interviews, Muhammad allegedly admitted that she went to a nearby park after leaving the restaurant to calm down, but it was there she decided to return and commit the attack. She reportedly stated, "I went to the park to think. I made my decision there." Investigators recovered the weapon, a kitchen knife with a blade exceeding 3 inches in length. Blood evidence and fingerprints were consistent with her holding the weapon throughout the attack. According to the medical examiner's report, Harris suffered over 15 stab wounds to her chest, face, and hands, consistent with targeted and sustained assault rather than a spontaneous or momentary act of rage. She acted alone. No other individuals have been implicated in the planning or execution of the attack. No text messages or calls between Muhammad and other individuals during the time between her departure and return to the restaurant indicate any outside influence or encouragement. All evidence supports the theory that she made the decision independently and carried out without assistance. The fact that she changed clothes, concealed her identity, and carried a weapon into her place of employment raises critical questions about her intent. These actions suggest time to reconsider, time to de-escalate, yet she chose not to. Her mental state at the time of the return is under evaluation, but she has made no formal plea of insanity or temporary mental disorder. Prosecutors maintain that her actions meet the criteria for calculated and intentional homicide. Following her arrest at the scene, where she was restrained by a legally armed civilian customer until police arrived, Afeni Muhammad was taken into custody and charged with multiple felonies. These include first-degree premeditated murder and carrying a concealed weapon with intent to commit a felony. At her arraignment, bond was set at $25 million, citing the severity of the crime, the deliberate nature of the act, and potential risk to the community. The court noted that Muhammad posed a flight risk and demonstrated clear intent to kill. During the hearing, she showed minimal reaction and made no verbal statements other than confirming her identity and understanding of the charges. The defense entered a not guilty plea on her behalf and has indicated plans to explore her mental health history and the possibility of mitigating psychological conditions. However, no formal request for psychiatric evaluation has been filed as of this writing. Prosecutors, in their initial statements to the court, emphasized Muhammad's own words as evidence of intent. They referenced her Instagram videos, particularly clips posted 24 to 48 hours before the attack, and stated they intend to enter these posts into evidence during trial. Surveillance footage from the restaurant showing Muhammad entering in a mask and launching the attack will also be a centerpiece of the prosecution's case. Court documents show that the case has been assigned to Macomb County Circuit Court. A probable cause hearing is scheduled for July 23rd, followed by a preliminary examination on July 30th, where the prosecution must demonstrate sufficient evidence to proceed to trial. Legal analysts note that the prosecution's case is strong, given the presence of multiple witnesses, video footage, the defendant's own statements, and forensic evidence linking her to the weapon. The defense will likely attempt to argue emotional distress or diminished capacity, but unless new information surfaces, the path forward points toward a full trial on all charges. Public interest in the case remains high, especially as social media content and behavioral patterns become central pieces of evidence. Legal observers are watching closely to see how digital footprints are interpreted in a courtroom context. The fatal stabbing of Jennifer Harris inside a McDonald's in East Point, Michigan, sent shockwaves through the local community and ignited a wider national conversation. The victim, a mother of 6 and longtime manager, was well known within the neighborhood and workplace. Her co-workers were left visibly shaken. Several employees described Jennifer as firm but fair, someone who upheld rules but also tried to create order in a fast-paced, high-pressure environment. Some said she had disagreements with staff in the past, but no one imagined it would lead to violence. The restaurant chain McDonald's issued a public statement expressing condolences, confirming cooperation with law enforcement, and pledging internal reviews. However, critics questioned the company's workplace policies and managerial training. A notable silence emerged regarding internal HR procedures, raising questions about whether prior incidents between Jennifer Harris and Afeni Muhammad had been formally documented. Jennifer's family, devastated by the sudden and public loss, spoke out during media interviews and through attorneys. Her sister called the killing senseless and avoidable, demanding accountability not just from the assailant, but from those who allowed tensions to escalate. A GoFundMe campaign was launched to support Harris's children. As of mid-July, it had surpassed $80,000. Vigils were held outside the restaurant, where members of the community lit candles and left handwritten notes. Media coverage exploded after footage of the aftermath and Afeni Muhammad's social media surfaced. National outlets framed the story around workplace violence and mental health. Local news, however, focused on the personal loss and community healing. Both narratives clashed over the role of workplace dynamics. One of the most polarizing developments was the involvement of an armed civilian. A customer lawfully carrying a firearm intervened during the attack, firing a shot to halt the suspect and holding her at gunpoint until police arrived. Some hailed the man as a hero. Others questioned the normalization of civilians engaging in deadly force scenarios. Was his response justified, or did it risk escalating further violence? Many unanswered questions continue to surround this case, particularly about warning signs and institutional failure. Why wasn't Afeni Muhammad flagged earlier for concerning behavior? Social media posts recorded just days before the stabbing showed her expressing strong resentment toward management. She accused the environment of being toxic and accused supervisors of bullying. These posts were public. Did anyone at the restaurant see them? If so, why were they not escalated to HR or law enforcement? Was there a failure of management or HR at McDonald's? If Muhammad had previous altercations or complaints against her, were they properly documented? Did HR ever intervene, mediate, or offer support to either party? No official internal reports have been released, and McDonald's has declined to comment on personnel matters, citing legal constraints. Did anyone witness warning signs and choose silence? Co-workers later admitted that tensions between Harris and Muhammad were building for weeks. Yet, no formal complaints or internal escalations appear in the public record. Was there a culture of ignoring conflict, hoping it would resolve on its own? Was there a history of conflict between the two? Multiple sources confirmed that Harris and Muhammad had a strained relationship. Muhammad reportedly felt targeted or mistreated, while Harris may have viewed her as insubordinate. But whether their interactions ever crossed legal or policy thresholds remains unverified. Why did she record and post videos days before the attack? The videos serve as troubling evidence. In one clip, she said, "That negative energy she brings in there, that's going to stop." Was this a veiled threat, a cry for help, or a declaration of intent? Was this part of a larger pattern of toxic workplace environments? Online commenters and former fast food workers weighed in after murder, describing similar experiences of managerial conflict, poor oversight, and high stress. Is this killing an outlier or the result of systemic negligence in corporate food service environments? Could this have been prevented? That question lingers. With public social media content, escalating tension at work, and apparent warning signs, should anyone have intervened? Could Jennifer Harris still be alive if there were stronger reporting mechanisms or better employee mental health support? This case is not just about one killing. It exposes broader issues that extend into labor policy, mental health, gun rights, and digital behavior. Violence in the workplace, rising trend or isolated event. Workplace homicides, while statistically rare, are rising in certain sectors. Retail and food service, where stress is high and pay is low, are among the most vulnerable. Is this a one-off act of revenge or a symptom of a broader crisis? Afeni Muhammad's online posts may reveal psychological distress. Yet, no records confirm she received mental health care. Social media platforms allowed her to vent publicly. But are these platforms able or willing to detect signs of violence before it's too late? What protections exist for managers or staff who feel threatened? Did McDonald's provide conflict resolution resources? Was the onus on staff to report, or was there proactive oversight? The case reveals gray areas in corporate liability. The bystander who intervened with a firearm prevented further harm. But what if he had missed? What if police misread the scene? Civilian interventions are increasingly part of violent incidents, but there are few national standards on when or how force should be used. How often do warning signs go unreported or ignored? The most pressing issue is the inaction surrounding warning signs. From social media threats to strained workplace interactions, red flags were present. Why weren't they taken seriously? How many tragedies begin as ignored tension? Jennifer Harris was murdered at her workplace by someone she once worked alongside. Her killer, Afeni Muhammad, left behind a digital trail and a day-long timeline that pointed to premeditated intent. The public is left grappling with key contradictions: a known conflict, a lack of formal intervention, and missed opportunities to de-escalate. As of July 2025, Muhammad remains in custody. A preliminary hearing is set for July 30th. Prosecutors are pursuing first-degree murder, and the defense has not yet announced a strategy. The case could stretch into a prolonged trial with national attention. What would you have done if you saw the signs? Can online posts ever be dismissed again as just venting? How many others like Jennifer Harris are in danger and don't even know it? This case isn't closed. It's a mirror held up to the cracks in workplace culture, digital behavior, and the silent escalation of rage. The final verdict may not just be rendered in court, but in whether changes are made to prevent the next one. If you found this story as gripping and heartbreaking as we did, don't forget to like this video and share it with others. And if you want to hear more true crime stories that uncover the mysteries behind these tragic events, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell. You won't want to miss our latest stories, updates, and discussions. Thank you for joining us on this journey to seek justice and explore the truth. Together, we can make a difference. Until next time, stay safe and stay aware.